The Premier is pleading with people to stay home or risk the lockdown failing. Gladys Berejiklian says too many people who have symptoms are moving about and even going to work. Her bleak warning comes as a second student nurse and an aged care worker tested positive. Hundreds of patients and staff are now nervously waiting for their test results. There were 24 cases today, but more than half of them were infectious while in the community. Mark Reddie reports.
It's a grey area in our health system.
At the moment, there is not mandatory vaccination for all healthcare workers.
First, it was an unvaccinated student nurse who worked at Fairfield and Royal North Shore hospitals while infectious. The 24-year-old woman remains in isolation.
One of her household contacts is positive.
The virus was also passed on to one of her colleagues who worked at the same places and here at the Royal Ryde Rehabilitation Hospital. An aged care worker at Summit Care has subsequently become infected and was not vaccinated, but
around 135 out of the 149 residents at Summit Care were vaccinated.
There are 24 new cases, more than half were infectious while in the community. 7 are under investigation with no known source. 2 people are in ICU, 1 is on a ventilator. 5 days into lockdown and the cases are steady. Even still, there was a warning from the Premier.
A number of those cases were people who were conducting work in the last few days, some with symptoms, and we can't continue to have that happen.
Shopping centres have dominated a list of new venues on high alert. Pacific Square Shopping Centre in Maroubra, Westfield East Gardens and Burwood, to name a few.
Where you can, do your shopping online. Where you can, don't go to places where there's lots of other people.
Also of major concern, a Virgin flight landed here in Sydney last weekend after travelling from the Gold Coast. A crew member on board flight VA524 tested positive and now 2 passengers have as well. 60 people were fined for breaching public health orders. Southwestern Sydney and the eastern suburbs identified as problem spots.
We are stopping and propping many people, and again it's just disappointing that infringements continue to be issued.
It's an anxious wait for the results tonight for the hundreds of patients and staff from 4 health facilities. Mark Reddie, ABC News, Sydney.
And Mark Reddie is live for us tonight at the Homebush Vaccination Hub. Mark, there's been a COVID scare there. What can you tell us?
Juanita, on Tuesday, a person unknowingly infected with coronavirus visited this vaccination hub here at Olympic Park between 3:30 and 5 p.m. So anyone who was here during that time is considered a close contact. The advice is to get tested immediately and self-isolate for 14 days regardless of a result. Now, the site has undergone a deep clean, and as you can see tonight, there are hundreds of people lining up, a queue stretching right around the block, so people are still here getting vaccinated. The advice, though, is really simple. If you have the mildest of flu-like symptoms, a runny nose, a scratchy throat, to get tested, stay home and rebook that appointment. So that's the advice, and this just falls into what the Premier has said to avoid any other outbreak, because that's the last thing we want at a vaccination centre. Juanita?
Mark Reddie reporting there.